Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Golden Astrologer Podcast. This is Deb McBride, and I am here in beautiful and lovely Escazú, Costa Rica, on the 24th of November. Sunday, the 24th of November. It is 11/24/24 in the year 2024. And so, the first thing I want to say is that I want to announce that I am giving my annual astrological look at the year ahead on December 10th, which is a Tuesday in the evening. And it is going to be chock full of surprises because so much is going on next year. I'm calling it the liminal labyrinth because it's going to be about navigating the in-between space. And that was too long of a title. Navigating the in-between space. And it's like, what does that mean? The liminal labyrinth is a little more poetic and has a little more ring to it. But this is a look ahead, spending time looking at the signs and what's going on. Lots of surprises next year, lots of energy. I did a year ahead forecast for my Internations group this morning, and that went very well. It was very nice. But, people had some questions about what not to do and what to do because there's a lot of do's and don'ts for the early part of the year. And we'll be talking about that, all of it, all the planets, because there's major, major changes coming next year and major transitions. So some of it is definite and some of it is not. So that's why I'm calling it the liminal labyrinth. And this is going to go out on my mailing list later today, hopefully, and along with a couple of holiday bonus deals. So I'm offering free astrology sessions to those of you who sign up for expansion mentoring. And if you sign up for an astrology session, you will also get a free mini scan. Remember the New Vision mini scan I talked about? And I can offer that for free because I have the New Vision system. So if you sign up for an astrology session, you'll get a free mini scan between now and the end of December 31st. So that's, you're getting the head start on that. I haven't put it out on my mailing list yet, so I'm going to do that later. And now let's talk. Hey, it's the 24th of November, and that means Pluto is already in Aquarius. It went in on Tuesday, and I felt a big shift and change. I felt the energy change. It has felt different all week. It wasn't a temporary thing. It feels okay, this is new, this is fresh, and it actually feels very different from the other two times Pluto entered Aquarius. And this being the third and final time, this is something that I find is a really dramatic shift forward and into the future. And that happened, if you listened to me last week, you know that happened on Tuesday the 19th, and in the Eastern time zone, it was 3:29 p.m., I was sitting here, I was engaged in listening to a mentor at the time, and I thought this is a great way to start this Pluto transit because she was very good. So, how do you feel? How are you feeling? What does it feel like? It feels very different, doesn't it? I mean, I notice it now. You may say, I don't know, that my life is still the same. I got up on Wednesday, it was the same thing. I had to deal with the same problems, the same issues, the same stuff. Yes. You still have to get up in the morning. You still have to feed yourself. You still have to get groceries. You still have to take care of your responsibilities. But there's something going on that's different. There's an energetic dynamic that is completely different than what it was. And after many, many years of Pluto in Capricorn, this to me, and of course I'm going to be more sensitive to these things. I'm used to these cycles beginning and ending. They don't happen very frequently, especially with the outer planets, especially with Pluto. But this is going to be a different, dramatic shift from what we've been experiencing. And I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. I really feel like it's going to be more positive energy. And it doesn't feel that dramatic as I remember Pluto in Capricorn. And I don't mean dramatic like, oh, that's not different. I mean dramatic like it was immediately not good when Pluto went into Capricorn. And the darkness of the sign comes out first. And we've certainly had some experience already because of Pluto going into Aquarius and then stopping and then going back into Capricorn and coming back into Aquarius. And most of this year, Pluto's been in Aquarius. But usually when Pluto enters a sign, the underworld of that theme, of that sign's theme comes forward. And it may be the first year or so, or a few months. So when it went into Capricorn, there was all sorts of stuff around, banking and Ponzi schemes and financial institutions and stuff like that. We know that was going on. Here, there's been more things around technology, and there's definitely some technology shifts that we've seen already. But I think that, I don't think anybody's frightened, or like it's not ending. It doesn't feel like the end of the world. Pluto can sometimes feel like something very dramatic and earth-shattering is happening. But this is an air sign, and it's more articulate and intellectual and thought-provoking than it would be if we were dealing with an earth sign, which is about our material world, our worldly possessions, and how we feel about all of that, which was last time, okay? So, look in your newspaper, see what rings of Aquarius, and that kind of drops into your lap and might be very obvious. And Aquarius is all about liberation and freedom and revolution. And, I saw people posting things on Instagram about revolution for a variety of reasons in the U.S., since the last week or two. And I think that, and French Revolution specifically, which happened when Pluto was in Aquarius. And that was the last time Pluto was in Aquarius. So, where do you want a revolution in your life? Where do you want to clear the decks and start again, or start something brand new and thriving and alive in your life? Where do you want to be experiencing freedom and liberation in your life? That's what's really exciting for you, okay? And, that's one of the things I do in expansion mentoring. I help people free themselves up, free themselves of burden, clear the obstacles. We do that in expansion mentoring, and it's been very lovely, and also thought-provoking things come to light for them. So yes, very good. But now we have, the end of this year is very interesting and a little bit dramatic, and it lends itself into the beginning of next year, okay? So this is important that we pay attention to the dynamics of this year, which is why it's good for us to do a look at the year ahead. In the meantime, some of the dynamics of the end of this year are going into next year. So it's not going to be one of those years where we have a fresh start on January 1st. I don't think so, because we've got a lot of leftover feelings from this year. Now, one of the things that's going to happen this week that's going to carry us through the months ahead, because it's going to go through mid-December, is that Mercury is going retrograde tomorrow. And that happens tomorrow night, Eastern Time, 9:42 p.m. And we are already, we're past the shadow point, but we're in the Mercury retrograde station. And Mercury is at 22 degrees of Sagittarius. And it's a wide opposition to Jupiter. Remember last week I spoke of the 3 passages of Mercury opposite Jupiter. So a story started. And, whatever that story is, that we watch our thoughts and things that we're having happen. It's important to pay attention as, December 4th, Mercury is going to oppose Jupiter again, and that's a week from Wednesday, but we're not there yet. We're on today, and tomorrow, Mercury goes retrograde. So what does this mean for us? Well, first of all, Mercury is in Sagittarius, and it is not its favorite sign. You would think that Mercury and Sagittarius, Mercury would like Sagittarius. I have a lot to say. There's a lot of knowledge. I'm studying, and all those things are good. And it's not bad. It's not bad for Mercury to be in Sagittarius, but it is not the sign that it rules, and therefore it's in the opposite sign from what it rules, and it's in its fall. So it's considered to be not a great placement for Mercury, but Mercury likes to talk, and Sagittarius is big, so maybe Mercury will talk big during this time. And we have to be very careful about the information we get from people in these next few weeks. It will be about 3 weeks. Mercury will expand our awareness in a lot of things because it will be opposite Jupiter 3 times. But it's really interesting because, Mercury is like in a wide square to Neptune. It's 22 and Neptune's at 27. But like right now, as I'm looking at the planets, the moon is in Virgo, squaring Mercury, and then it's opposite Neptune. So we've got a bit of a grand cross going on with Mercury, Jupiter, the moon, and Neptune. And that's going to wane as the moon moves out, these next few hours. But so what is it? Are you emotionally upset because you feel like you don't have the truth? Which could very well be. Mercury in Sadge he talks big, but he doesn't, it's all full of hot air. He doesn't give anything that's really real or truthful, right? And so we have to be a little bit careful with Mercury and Sadge. Try not to exaggerate, because we can get caught up in laughter and funny things and stuff and exaggerate. It's good to not exaggerate. It's good to discern the truth right now. And Sagittarius and Jupiter are very big. They're abundant, but they're expansive, but they can also make things out to be bigger than they are. And so they talk big, or they feel big, or maybe they're bigger than we need them to be. And sometimes when Mercury is retrograde in Sagittarius, we don't really know what the truth is, especially in dynamics like this. Mercury squaring Neptune. Neptune is all about, is it the truth or not? What is truth? What is truth? What is the frequency of truth? And that's the highest frequency of all, is the frequency of truth. But it's really important to speak your truth now. And it's really important, gosh, if the truth isn't going to come out during a Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, I don't know when it would come out. The mutable signs, I would say, except for Virgo, maybe a little bit of Virgo, but the mutable signs have a funny relationship with the truth. They want the truth. Certainly Sagittarius wants, truth. It is about what your truth, but your truth is different than somebody else's truth, and truth wavers, and in certain circumstances, what's the truth? And so what is it that is, how is the truth revealed? How is the truth going to be revealed? Mercury squaring Neptune. Neptune is wobbly on the truth. So Neptune alone and Pisces, these are signs that are ruled by Jupiter, or have been ruled by Jupiter or Neptune, and they are not liars outrightly, but maybe they bend the truth. I think Gemini can bend the truth. Gemini can exaggerate the truth. They get caught up in talking and and maybe a little, caffeinated on their thoughts and talking, and they're talking really fast. And it's like, but you said this. Oh, did I? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. All of this is very questionable relative to the truth. And and Virgo comes in, and they're like, maybe they've got more of a moral compass. And I think Sagittarius likes to think it has a moral compass, but it knows how to bend the truth, and it knows how to tell the truth for sure. But we have to determine when we're being lied to over these next weeks, when we are being told the truth, when we are lying to ourselves. And that's really important, because this is Mercury retrograde, meaning it's an internal experience. And Pisces can be wobbly on the truth. Sagittarius can be wobbly on the truth. Gemini can be wobbly on the truth. Okay? I think Saturn and Capricorn are far more direct about the truth, and sometimes it's the truth we don't want to hear. It's reality-based truth. It's all reality, very, very hardcore reality stuff. And you're like, Deb, you're calling everybody a liar. I'm not calling everybody a liar. I'm calling them bending things in their favor, or getting optimistic to the point where it's not the reality. And Pisces and Neptune are always a little bit, is it real? Is it not? Can I trust it? Can I not trust it? What is it? And so when you're being sold something, when you're being talking to someone, when you're in a conversation with someone, you want to make sure that the truth is key in everything that you're getting from the other people, from what you're being sold, from everything. And this is always, Mercury retrograde is always a time to cross your T's and dot your I's and make sure everything, you read all the fine print, and you if you're going to sign the contract, you know what's going on you know what it says, and you're clear. As clear as you can be right now with Mercury in this dynamic with Neptune and Jupiter. It doesn't mean that everywhere you go it's a hall of mirrors and a house of lies. It just means you have to listen carefully more than ever this time around. You have to pay attention. You have to make sure that the dialogue is clear. You don't want to walk out of this person saying, "You said this." "Yes, you did." "No, I didn't. I never said that." And you have to be certain that what you are hearing from somebody is what you need. You make sure it's what you need as opposed to what you would like to hear. Okay, and God knows that happens in relationships all the time. "Well, he said this." "Well, he really means that." "Well, he told me this." "No, he didn't say that. He said this." So you need to be very clear on the information you're getting, the information you're giving, the information that is, available to you, and what's not available to you, what's being hidden. That's Neptune. And I know it's a wide square to Neptune, but it's enough. We've got like the mutable signs plugged into one another right now, and they are not tricky, but they are flexible. "Well, I know I said that, but I really meant this." They can waver. Neptune is the trickiest out of everybody. Neptune in its own sign of Pisces, when we get involved with a Mercury retrograde, can be very tricky. So we want to pay a lot of attention to what's going on here over these next 3 weeks. Mercury will move away from Neptune because it's going to turn around tomorrow. Neptune's going to be going direct in a few days or weeks or so. And we're not going to have that same dynamic between them. But I'm just giving you some words of caution. It's really important to pay attention to the dynamics in your conversations. If you know when someone's lying, if you don't know when someone's lying, if you don't know if you can believe someone, you got to sit down with yourself and really review things. And don't go for anything that isn't believable. Okay? So yes. So that's one part of it. Now, the other thing is that we're in Sagittarius season, so things can be a little wilder. They're ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's in Gemini, the opposite of Sadge. Jupiter is not in its own sign either. It likes to be in Sadge. It's in its fall. So as Mercury is in its fall, Jupiter's in its fall, as I mentioned last week when they were dancing together. And so this is a very optimistic, hopeful Jupiterian time. And as you know, as I spoke of last week, the sun went into Sagittarius last Thursday, the 21st, and it's an optimistic, festive season. And this is the nature of Sagittarius. It's always that feeling of Christmas is coming, bonuses are coming, shopping to do, lots of fun parties. And Sagittarius lends itself more to that festivity than Capricorn does when Capricorn starts the real Christmas season. So when we have that solstice on the 22nd of December, that sun goes into Capricorn and everything now feels like Saturn. So by the time we get to that holiday, it's like, oh my God, I spent too much money. The credit card bills are rolling in. Oh my God, I spent too much money. So watch your spending, lots of Sag energy, lots of Jupiter happening, and lots of fire right now. And Mars is going to be in Leo till the end of the year, till the beginning of next year. And so we've got lots of fire and lots of optimism and not a whole lot of earth like we used to have. And I was talking about this today in the lecture I gave. There's not a whole lot of earth coming either. So this is, Moon is going to move out of Virgo tomorrow, go into Libra. And then we've only got really Uranus in Taurus, and we've got Venus in Capricorn right now until she goes into Aquarius in a couple weeks. And really, thankfully Venus is there during the Christmas shopping season because maybe she'll keep a lid on things and keep things in reality. It's something we need to pay attention to. A lot of over optimism. Now that Aquarius is part of the game, And Aquarius and Sag are complementary signs, and they balance each other very nicely. All this, Sun sextile Pluto energy, and they're in agreeable signs with each other, and Pluto is no longer in stodgy Capricorn, keeping us like tight fists around our wallets. Now it's in Aquarius, and it's complementing all this Jupiter energy with Jupiter and Gemini and all the planets in Sag. And so this is, I feel a lot of like letting it slide. I'm going to eat more sugar than I should. Let's eat. I ate a chocolate cupcake yesterday. I don't normally go and get a chocolate cupcake, but we were out yesterday in Barrio Escalante, which is sort of like I liken it to Greenwich Village. It's downtown San Jose. It's fun. It's restaurants, boutiques. And I ate this chocolate cupcake that was divine because it had a ganache, a chocolate ganache, instead of frosting. And it was like the best cupcake. I woke up this morning remembering that cupcake, and I'm like, I got to get another one of those cupcakes. And so that's where it is. It's the chocolate cupcake with the chocolate ganache on top season. You got to be careful how much sugar you're putting in your body right now. And so with all this Sag, it's like, oh, weight gain. When did that happen? Yeah. And this week on Wednesday, the Sun in Sag is trining Mars and Leo. So this is like bouncy energy, lots of fire. Let's have fun. Let's do it. We got to keep a lid on it. Pluto's not in Capricorn anymore. There's no father time sitting there saying, now dear, you need to keep things in order. And so hopefully Venus will help us do that a bit. It's really interesting how when the energy shifts like that, we feel it, and we feel like we can be a little more loose with our money, with our diet, with our everything. And then we start to recognize where that's affecting us once the Sun goes into Capricorn. It's like, oh God, I've been to too many Christmas parties. So I expect this to be a very festive holiday season. And I expect that we just need to keep an eye on things, especially Mercury and Sag is easily drawn into things that we don't normally indulge in. I don't normally go out and get a nice chocolate cupcake. And how many chocolate cupcakes are really that good? This was really good. I wish I could share it with everybody, but it was like, whoa, that's good. Anyway, so if you want to avoid the chocolate cupcake of Sagittarius season fallbacks, then I think that you should just kind of focus on that Venus and Capricorn and keep a lid on things. I can feel it. I feel overindulgence. I feel overabundance. I feel people spending money they don't have. I just can feel it's in the air. It's in the air. So be discerning. Use that Venus and Capricorn right now to be discerning. Use your discernment in what you say and how you relate to people and what you spend and what you eat. Okay? Discernment is key right now. We got to keep our heads together. On that note, there is a new moon in Sagittarius next Saturday. And so it's like, okay, the weekend comes, let's party. So there's more of this energy right now. I think it's hilarious, but not. It's not going to be hilarious when we try to get our nice Christmas outfits on and they're not going to fit. And so the moon in Sag starts next Saturday morning at 6:53 a.m. when the moon enters Sag, and that is Eastern time. And it will conjunct the sun at 1:21 a.m. Sunday morning. So it's Saturday night, depending where you are, maybe in the Pacific coast or you're in the mountain time zone. For me, I guess it's going to be 12:21 a.m. Sunday. So it's between Saturday night and Sunday morning, but I'm betting we're going to feel it. As soon as that moon goes into Sag on Saturday, it's going to be like, yeah, going Christmas shopping. Yeah, going to buy myself a gift too. I've done that years past, many years ago. Every time I bought somebody something at Christmas, I was like, oh, I want this for myself. I'm going to buy this for myself too. Okay. So we got to be a little careful with that energy. And this is, it's at 9 Sag. It's in a wide opposition to Jupiter, but it is going to square Saturn. So the good news is Saturn is hopefully going to help us keep a lid on it. So it will square Saturn shortly after it becomes new. So we are getting a certain amount of tempering of temperance from Saturn. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's going to help us maintain our head when we're out Christmas shopping and Christmas lunching and those kinds of things. It's relatively good for being social. So if you want to just get together with friends and have a cup of coffee, black coffee, and and you want to connect and be with people, it's good. It's great. Even Mercury retrograde, we go back to people. We hang out with people we didn't hang out with in a long time. Maybe we haven't seen them, so we're reconnecting. And the of Mercury retrograde is always the vibe of, reconnect, revisit, review. And this gives us a chance to sort of review things in our Sagittarian houses, wherever they may be, and connect to old friends we haven't seen in a while, reaching out to people we haven't seen, because it is the season, So a new moon in Sadge is often a time when we're searching for something. I would say Sagittarius and Pisces are seekers and if you have planets in those signs, you know what I'm talking about. They are seekers of truth. They are seekers of, enlightenment, knowledge. Aquarius seeks knowledge as well, but Aquarius often dispenses knowledge. That's the water bearer. And so seeking knowledge right now could be something that you are interested in. Setting up some travel plans could be something you're interested in as well. Sagittarius loves far-flung places, especially places where they could get to know the culture. It's a different culture than their own. Where is it that they could gain knowledge by traveling abroad? So, make your travel plans. It's all very good. And, with some caution involved, because this new moon does square Saturn. A square is a challenging relationship between the planets. You may want to start something big, like some big plan, some big trip. Let's go to Europe, blah, blah, blah. Let's set it up. And then you go, oh, wait a minute, we can't do that. What are we talking about? Like it starts out big and then it gets a little smaller and more realistic. That's the nature of Saturn in these situations. So this is an important thing. Go big, but not too big. Okay. It doesn't mean live small. It means expand where you need to and where you should right now. And this is the converse of it. If you don't feel confident about expanding in your life, like, you may want to question that. Like, that's another flip side of it. Instead of just wanting to go big and Saturn pulling you in, it could be that Saturn is showing you where you've been too small, and Saturn is saying, you want to get a little bigger here. You've got to get a little bigger here. You got to expand. Have some confidence. Believe in yourself. And believing in oneself is another big thing that Sagittarius brings us. It is about belief in many ways, but it is about knowing ourselves and going on a deeper level. So the new moon isn't just some frivolous Sagittarius experience. It does come with some consciousness of Saturn, which is not just to spoil the party or rain on our parade, but to give us some awareness of things outside of, those Sagittarian things of having a good time. But it also helps us know our limits. That's number one, our limits. And also where we've got too many limits on ourselves. Sag loves expansion. So we want to bring more expansion into our world and balance it with our self-knowledge and balance it with a sense of, responsibility. So there's, that could be a huge topic. That's a topic all in itself. Expand, be responsible about your expansion. Expand, don't play small. Don't allow yourself to think small and bust through the wall of being small, okay? And believe in yourself. So this is an interesting new moon. And I'll be meeting you next Sunday, the 1st of December. Can you believe it's December? I'll be saying that again when I start my podcast next Sunday. And this is something that's going to be in the air when I record my podcast next Sunday. So this is a theme for the week, as we're going to feel that sun, moon coming up to square Saturn, and we're going to feel that experience of expansion at the same time. So you may feel like you're shrinking and expanding. You got to find the balance between them, okay? Other things this week, Venus is going to square Chiron on Wednesday, late Wednesday night, 11:58 p.m. Eastern time. And that's going to be the same day as the Sun and Mars trining one another and giving us a lot of energy and vitality. But Venus relationships might feel a little sticky, and just make sure that you are connecting with people in a deep and honest way, and reach out to a friend who might be hurting, because that's Venus Chiron as well. Thursday is Thanksgiving in the United States, and I hope if you are celebrating, you're going to have a lovely time. It is always a wonderful thing to have a day to just be in gratitude. And, gratitude is such a powerful theme and frequency that we often forget about it. We're so used to saying thank you and being generally appreciative. But the other day, the mentor I was listening to was talking about, she was talking about magic money and provider money. And she said, when you have provider money, which is, your money that you need for your life, magic money is what you get to play with. You have to feel gratitude for every bit you have above provider money. And that's expansive too. Gratitude I think is a Sagittarian thing as well. So it's no accident that Thanksgiving falls in Sagittarius season. So much gratitude for everything in your life, and think about it, even the small, tiny little things, everything. So gratitude is such a big topic, and it's so important to know and have gratitude. On that note, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving, a beautiful Thanksgiving if you're celebrating. I'm going to be doing Thanksgiving here, as I do every year, and I always have everyone state their sense of gratitude and what they're grateful for. And so I am grateful for all of you listening, and those of you who come to see me. And you know that you can always come to see me, book a session on my Golden Astrologer website, see me on Instagram, The Golden Astrologer, and connect with me on this podcast every week. So beautiful blessings to all of you. Thank you for listening. Connect with me about my lecture on the 10th of December if you want to. I'm going to be putting that out soon. And certainly, if you are interested in a session or expansion mentoring, get in touch with me. Go to goldenastrologer.com, book online. Blessings for the week ahead. Much gratitude to all.